Waterproof bone conducting headphones? Let's check these out. Dave Taylor here, and I'm checking out this. This is the NAENKA Runer Diver Bone Conduction Headphone, and it's pretty slick. First off, you can't help but notice that it's inspired by a seahorse, which is kind of a fun design note, and it's particularly appropriate because they are completely waterproof. You can wear these while you're swimming. Now, I'm not sure why you would do that, but you can do that. If you do 100 laps a day, you could listen to an audiobook or a podcast, right? So they actually sound pretty darn good. And bone conducting headphones are very different because when you put them on, they go around your ear and they actually just sit right in front of your ear, and they basically use the physical characteristics of your skull to get music to your eardrum. So it's very different. So nothing is in your ear and nothing is over your ear. Now, obviously, these are really great if you want to go for a run or a bike ride, or you're in any environment where you need to keep track of the noise around you in addition to whatever it is you're listening to. And that's really where this style comes in absolutely fantastic. So they feature a 16 millimeter dynamic vibrator speaker with obviously an open ear design. They're powered by Bluetooth 5.2, which is the very latest version of Bluetooth. And that also gives you things like multi-point pairing. So you can pair these with your phone and your tablet and your computer, and whatever you push audio signal from is the one that it will actually use. It also has NFC fast pairing, although I just paired it with Bluetooth on my Google Pixel 6 Pro, and I would say the entire process took about 15 seconds. Super easy. They also have CVC6 noise reduction with the microphone. And I'm going to demo the microphone in just a second. So if you're using these and you get a phone call, imagine you could be talking to someone while you're swimming. No, that's not going to work, is it? You could certainly be sitting in the hot tub and be talking to someone with these, and obviously the people in the hot tub with you are going to hear what you say, but they're not going to hear what they say. And I'll demo that in a second too, because it seems really weird that these wouldn't just mean everyone around you can hear what you're listening to, but in 99% of situations they really can't. Now, another interesting thing is it has 16 gig of onboard storage. In fact, you plug these into your computer, and as you can see on this screenshot, it just shows up, and it even comes with a couple of unusual songs that wouldn't necessarily be on my playlist, but 16 gig, you can drop a bunch of MP3s or FLAC files on there and listen. And that's important because when you're wearing these and you go underwater, generally speaking, you lose your Bluetooth signal. So if you have these and your phone is sitting on the edge of the pool, it ain't gonna work. But you have onboard music, so that works instead. Super easy. And 10 hours of playback on a charge. If you listen to them at super maximum high volume, it'll be a little less, but let's talk about that for a second, because I think one of the most important things to know is it has a custom charging cable, because it uses a custom connector that's a magnet, and that works great. The other side is USB-A, our sort of traditional rectangle. And the problem with this is if you lose this cable, you're kind of up a creek, and these aren't going to be worth much more than a really funky looking paperweight. So I understand why companies use these custom connectors, but I think I would be tempted to buy a second one just to put it in like emergency reserve, because if this one ever breaks or gets lost, otherwise you're kind of in a bad situation. Now, that's really the only thing that I have to say about this. It's interesting, they come with water earplugs. These are like swimmer's earplugs, so there's no music reproduction on there, but if you're going to go swimming, you can put these around your ear, put these in your ear, and then you can do that 100 laps. It's a lot of swimming, right? Otherwise, the box, that's pretty much everything in the box other than a instruction guide. And so let me give you a couple of demos. So first off, what I want to do is I want to play some music, and here's something that people like me with longer hair need to know is it works a lot better if you move the hair so that it's not between the unit and your skull. And in fact, I have a feeling people that have very little hair on the top of their head, like serious swimmers, actually are going to get the best results with these. But they're super comfortable. You could absolutely wear these all day because they're not on top of your head, they're not in your ears, they're not on your ears. Really, really nice. You could use these for phone calls, or if you want to just listen to audio for a long, long period, you don't need to take advantage of the waterproof features. But let me go ahead and get some music going here. And I'm going to turn it to maximum volume on my phone. Let's see. Oh, of course, I'm right between songs. That doesn't really work. Oh, there we go. So now what I want to do is I want to just be quiet and you tell me if you can hear what I'm listening to. Surprisingly, it gives me a lot of sound, but it doesn't give anyone near me any sound. I have to pause this. So it actually sounds surprisingly good. It's not comparable to having something in your ear or something over your ear. It's a different technology and it has some inherent limitations because of that. But in terms of being able to have complete access to the audio environment that you're in, like you're running and you're on a street, then these are pretty amazing because they do work well and they do sound pretty decent. In particular, if you're a podcast or you're listening to the news or you're an audiobook fan like I am, these are fantastic for that. For music, you're not getting the full range of sound. Again, that's what bone conduction gives you. It doesn't give you that full frequency response. It's sort of more like that maybe. So you can tell there's bass, but there ain't a lot of bass. So these are not going to be like your perfect party headphones, but they're not intended to be that. Now, the other thing I wanted to demonstrate is voice. So let's get to the voice recorder on my phone. Here it is. And let's get this all set up. And let's see. Okay, so now you're hearing my voice as recorded or captured, I should say, by the NAENKA Runner Diver Bone Conduction Headphones. It is not as good as what you hear on my microphone for my regular review setup, but if you're on a phone call, it's entirely functional, and that's pretty sweet. So let me switch back. And that's really all I've got. I really like these. It's really intriguing to have completely waterproof and ear or sort of music reproduction devices that give you access to your environment. So I wore these while I had a shower, which didn't work very well actually, because when you're having a shower, it turns out there's a lot of noise from the water hitting your head or your shoulders. So that was not a particularly huge success, but if I had a hot tub or a pool, I would absolutely have put these on and maybe just floated and listened to something. It's like a sensory deprivation experience, right? It's really pretty cool. And the fact that these 100% waterproof is really nice. Now, let me give you a super quick tour of the buttons because they sort of put the buttons in funny locations. So the power button is on the left ear, and it would be where I guess the eye would be if it was a seahorse. And then you have a function button on the left ear, and then volume up and down on the top of the left ear. So in practice, when you have them on, then your right hand is going to be doing most of the work on volume up and down and that function button. And then your left hand, your left finger gives you power on and off. It's easy enough. It does support things like having a voice assistant and stuff. You know, all of these do that kind of thing. And in fact, in the instructions, there is a somewhat daunting list here, a 2-page list of, you know, push, double push, triple push, long push, short push, all the different ways to get to things. Honestly, I figure that if I can get a couple of the basics like volume up and pause play, I'm in good shape and ready to roll. So that's everything. Now, all I want to do is I want to talk about the price because you definitely want to know that. But before we get to the price, I'm going to ask if you could subscribe to my channel. A click or a tap on that subscribe button and we're connected. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you know when I post new content. Great. All right, these are the NAENKA Runner Diver Bone Conduction Headphones, and they're $157.79 minus a $40 coupon right now on Amazon, making them $117.79 at Amazon.com. Now remember, they have 16 gig of onboard storage for music or audio content. So they're more than just Bluetooth earbuds or Bluetooth headphones, really. They offer a lot of interesting other features and capabilities. So I'm going to go back to Howard Jones, which is what I've been listening to, which means I have to catch you in my next video.